Hey everyone, it's your host Joy, and welcome to the Becoming Fierce Female Entrepreneurs podcast. We are so happy to have you join us as we delve into the stories, strategies, and successes of entrepreneurs around the world. Thank you all for watching and subscribing to our podcast. So, are you ready to take bold steps and embrace that inner warrior within? Well, grab your journal or a sheet of paper, and I'll be right back.
Thank you for tuning in today. Our mission is to equip and empower you to dig in and soar higher, doing the things that you love. This podcast is where you'll hear leading experts from around the globe figuring out what you could be doing to tackle your greatest business challenges. So get ready to hear from some of the brightest minds and boldest thinkers on how they're taking on these problems and how you could too. Now here's your host.
Welcome back. So most of you know me, but for those of you who do not know me, my name is Joy Norman, and I'm an empowerment and success coach, and I am also the CEO of the international organization and movement Becoming Fierce Female Entrepreneurs. And I am blessed to help success-driven women entrepreneurs get past their fear and procrastination, move forward, take action, and build a profitable and sustainable business without wasting time on strategies that just don't work. Even if you've been struggling to grow your business for years and you haven't seen much fruit. Also, I am the host of this podcast, which is a podcast all about uplifting, informing, and empowering women entrepreneurs to grow a sustainable and profitable business. Because working your business can be tough and overwhelming, and it's easy to get lost in a busy life. And we just want to inspire you and support your growth. So, thank you for joining me today on this journey from worrier to warrior to embrace courage, resilience, and empowerment and live life with passion, purpose, and determination. So, are you ready for today's special guest? Here are the Sister Talks ladies. Well, hi, ladies. I'm so excited that you are here. Thank you so much for joining us for Sister Talks. I love our sisterhood community. It is nice to be a cheerleader in someone else's life, and it's nice to be willing to be vulnerable about your own struggles because we all need to connect with other women. Chances are you are not the only one going through a difficult situation. And sometimes the greatest strength comes in recognizing that we cannot do things alone. So thank you so much for inspiring, empowering, and supporting others to soar a little higher.
Amen. That's right.
So let's start with introductions. Give us your name, where you are joining us from, and what you do.
I'm LaToy. I am in Roseville, and I am a full-time mom, but a part-time state worker and a part-time assistant for becoming fierce female entrepreneurs. That's right.
I'm Connie Donley. I'm Waxahachie, Texas. I'm an outreach chaplain and one that trains others to be outreach chaplain to help people in their real time of need.
Hi, I'm Krista, and I am calling in from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I help women with fibromyalgia learn to thrive.
All right, would you ladies like to start with the game?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, it is time for 2 truths and 1 untruth. So share 2 true statements about yourself and 1 false statement related to our theme, from worrier to warrior. And then we have to guess which one is not true.
Okay, so I used to struggle with public speaking, but now I'm able to address large crowds. The other one is I'm passionate about helping others solve their problems. And last, I let my perfectionism hold me back from completing tasks. Which one is not true?
The
The second one.
I say the first one, that you used to struggle with speaking with large crowds, but now you got it.
Right, that's the one that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I would guess.
It's the first one. I struggle with public speaking. I still forget. I used to struggle, still struggle, and not able to address loud crowds. Yeah, so the first one's not true. But yeah, passionate about helping others, and yeah, let perfectionism hold me back. Yeah, so.
And that shows how much you've grown, because you got Krista thinking that.
Oh yeah, that I'm a good public speaker, but that's not the case. You see the awkwardness in this whole thing.
I love it.
I tend to really worry about things and overthink everything. I've got 3 children, and I grew up in New Jersey.
I'm gonna say the last one's not true.
That is correctamundo.
Yeah, I know because she's from Pennsylvania.
I know
That's
you
right,
knew.
baby.
Yeah, see, you knew. So it was just us, me, and Krista. You knew.
All right. So worry is a chance to show me what I need in the moment. Worry is like a treadmill. It uses a lot of energy, but you don't get anywhere. So get off the treadmill and go for a walk. Or if I stop worrying, everything will fall apart. Worry gives me a sense of control.
I say the last
The
one.
last one.
The last one's not true.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep. So that was good.
That
So
was
kind
really
of
good. Okay, here are mine. I used to worry constantly about what others thought of me, but now I've learned to prioritize self-confidence and self-acceptance. Meditation and mindfulness have been instrumental in helping me overcome my worries and become more resilient. I've discovered that vulnerability is a source of strength, not weakness, and I embrace it wholeheartedly. Which one is not true?
The last one.
The last one.
yeah, the last one maybe. They're all really good though.
They're all good.
They're all really good.
I
It's
really don't
actually
think.
the first one.
Oh,
Yep. I still worry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that one is
that's
not.
a hard one
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
to
it is.
overcome. That's a
Oh,
hard one to overcome.
uh-huh. The funny thing is, I still worry about what others think, but the difference is now I just keep moving forward, and I make my haters my motivators, and I stopped trying to fit in,
Yeah.
because God made me born to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
That's good.
Woo, that was fun.
That was good.
All right. So our topic today is from worrier to warrior, transforming worries into strengths. Are you ladies ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Life is full of challenges, uncertainties, and moments that test our strength and resilience. And for many of us, it's easy to fall into the trap of worry. constantly fretting about the what ifs and worst case scenarios, and allowing fear to hold us back from embracing our true potential. But
Mm.
what if we could transform that worry into warriorship? Stepping boldly into the arena of life with courage, confidence, and resilience. So, today we're going to explore how to shift from being a worrier to a warrior, embracing our inner strength and unleashing our potential. So, ladies, for our plug in discussion. What are some common worries or anxieties that you personally experience in your daily life or work? How do these worries affect your mindset and behavior? How do you typically cope with worries or stress? And are there any strategies or techniques that you have been particularly helpful in managing your worries and turning them into strengths? And can you share an example of a time when you were able to transform a worry or fear into a source of strength or resilience? And what was the situation? And how did you approach it differently than you might have in the past?
Okay. So I have 4 kids, and some of my worries are spending enough time with all of them, and being stretched and pulled in a 4 different directions. You want to make sure you give them enough attention, and validate their feelings, and you get overwhelmed at times, and so the way it affects my mindset is sometimes I feel down about it, and I feel like I don't have the capacity to provide all that they need all at the same time, because it
Mm.
just gets it gets a lot. And so the way I cope with it is I have friends, close friends, that have kids the same age as mine, and so I'll call them and we talk and we discuss, and they first validate my feelings. The first thing I love is one of my friends in particular, she says, "Wow, that's hard," or "That sounds hard." And as soon as she says that, my guard just goes down. And so I'll tell her, what I'm going through and what's going on with maybe my son or my daughter or anything like that. And she has teenage kids as well. And so that's the first thing. And then she'll give me advice, and we move into that stage of the conversation. But it's so natural. It's not anything that's planned out. It's just me calling her and talking to her. And then by the end, it just naturally circles around to, you're doing the best you can, you're doing a good job, you got this. And so by the end of the conversation, I feel like very good when I get off the phone with my friends, because I feel like, okay, I can do this. I'm enough. They'll be okay. It's not as hard, or it's not as bad as you think it is. So they'll always talk me down, like, no, it's not as bad, as you think it is. And so specifically, I have came up with, like I said, the big thing is spending enough time with all of them and just connecting with all of them. So one thing I do is I, and my husband does this too, is we take the kids out separately, individually, on their own, so that they all have that one-on-one time with us. And so that's something like very specific that I incorporate now, and we try to do it. Like my husband will come home and just take my daughter out, and they go on a drive, and it just be them two talking. And he does it with my son, my oldest son. They go get a haircut, but then it naturally turns into maybe lunch or dinner or something like that. And then we have little ones as well, and they love it and they like that attention. So that's where I've tried to help with the connecting with the kids and spending time with them. And we all spend time as a family as well. But we break it up. And I noticed that helps. And they really love that connection with one-on-one.
That's the way to do it. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not, of course, as anyone knows, when you have kids, it's an ongoing thing of trying to keep coming up with ways. So that's just one of the specific ways that I notice really helps. And it's always a work in progress and switching gears as they get older and as they change. And so you're always just trying to come up with ways to, to do that. So I worry less because I know that I'm giving them that time. So it calms my worry of, am I spending enough with all of them? It helps. That's the way to help calm that. You don't get rid of it, when you have kids and you got, multiples. It doesn't go away, but it helps calm it because I know, oh, I connected with her the other day and it helped, and we had a good conversation. And so it's okay that we didn't, that maybe she got ignored a little bit today because mom was busy, but I put that time in somewhere else, a different time. So it really does help.
That is really, really good. They'll be able to reflect on that too when they get older. They'll remember, oh, those rides, dad took me here because, some children grow up, they didn't have that special attention. So it's good that you are thinking about that.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of my biggest worries. Of course, the outside worries, they're there too, but some of those things you can't control. When you have kids, you worry about stuff that you can't. I try to, with the things I can control, to try to hone in on those. And that was something I knew I could control. So I do worry about them and safety and all the other worries as well. But knowing that I can control this, it felt like something something you could just do right away. It's something so small, coffee, a car drive, it's something you could just start doing right away. You don't have to plan it out. They appreciate it all, and yeah. So
But you think, a family, we're a family. We all always need to be together, but
we're always
yeah,
together, but you're
yeah,
not really connecting always,
yeah,
even though you're
yeah,
just together.
yeah.
They're all fighting to talk to you, and you're not. And you go, oh, you hear me? And you go, Mom, did you hear me? And I go, oh, yeah, yeah. What did I say? And I go, oh, no, I didn't.
Oh yes, the two younger ones will
Actually, did they hold you to it? They go repeat back to me what I said, and I'm like, you're talking about your school and your friends, and you guys are playing basketball, and they're like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
But
really
look how beautiful that is. That not only helps you with from you to their relationship, but man, how precious is that to your kids that you thought enough of them to take time with them. And look how you're teaching and training and showing them your love in another way. I mean, I know you're benefiting, but they're really benefiting too. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right away I noticed that was going to be the thing with the multiples. It's like, oh, how do I spread this out, spread my attention out? They know you love them, but how do you spread that connectivity out? That's the harder part. So yeah, breaking them apart, breaking them up, bring it back together, break up, bring it back together, and that's how you do it. Thank you, though. Thank you.
uh,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Well, one of my I know this may not make sense to some people that know me now, but something that has been and still comes a little bit is I do worry about things, and I do worry about, did I say the right thing? And here we go again. Do people like me? Or so if I'm just Connie, um, is that okay for most people? And I've or whoever I'm with, is that okay with them? And I have just come to the point, um I'm just myself. I'm just myself. I still worry a little bit about it, like if I'm a new situation. For instance, I transplanted from California to Texas. April 9th was a year already I've been here. And so, you have to make all new friends, and you're getting involved in church new all over again. And you want to make the right impression and everything. And yeah, I still want to do that. But we used to always say, like it or lump it, So I'm myself, and hopefully that's good enough for people. And if it's not, it's good enough for these people over here. So that used to be a real big deal with me, enough that I would isolate and be very, very quiet, and I really wouldn't open my mouth and talk. Of course, that's different now. But anyway, that was a real common thing. And I just have come to accept myself and appreciate myself and recognize that I really do have something that can contribute to people. Um, a lot of my interaction has to do with spiritual things, with the Lord Jesus. And what I have found, even with strangers in Walmart, just you might strike up a general conversation with someone, and they'll share something about their day. Well, then I bring the Lord into it, so I'm comfortable now with doing that, and it is amazing how that will turn situations around. And I'm thinking specifically of a time in Walmart and a time when I was in Target. And I was just in line, and the lady behind me just, I don't know, was going through some stuff. And the Holy Spirit led me, and I just kind of talked, and she was helped, and I felt like I had obeyed the Lord, and it was just a really good thing. So I've gone from, for the most part, from worrying, am I acceptable, to just being available. And it just works out, and it just kind of lowers my self expectations. So, yeah.
That is really
That's
good.
good.
I love that word, available. That's
Yeah.
one of the words
Yeah.
and so
Mhm.
do. I am so happy because that's what God intended, is for us to be in relationship with Him and with others.
Yes.
So I know it's easy to isolate.
Mhm.
That was never one of my problems. I always got in trouble for talking too much, but
That's kind of me now. I do talk, but I'm telling you, I used to just isolate. You would not know I was in the room. I would be very, but not now.
yeah,
But when you say you're being yourself now, that's awesome. There's nothing like that freedom. I think it comes with that maturity. I even feel it now, like being more reserved and more shy before, but man, I'm now totally okay with who I am. Like it's a freedom in it. When you're
Yeah.
younger, there's a lot of insecurities that you can't, that just come with that youth. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of, that's when, people don't want to get older, but that's like the beauty of getting older.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing, is that wisdom that you get and that freedom that you get. It's like so much freedom.
You're
I'm like,
comfortable
I do like
where
that.
you come from, and you're comfortable
Pretty
with who
comfortable.
you are.
Pretty comfortable. Yeah. Pretty free in that way. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Agreed.
Yeah, I loved acceptable to available. That is such a nice transition and a nice switch, because we're all like, we all probably have wanted to be accepted. We've all said it, right? And then to be available, it is freeing, like LaToya said, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah. That sounds like an awesome title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, you're
Available.
right.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That is
Hmm.
beautiful. Mhm.
All right, so some of my common day-to-day worries are finances, um, going out and looking well. And because I have fibromyalgia, I have to be really careful about where my energy goes, what the environment is like. So I'm really careful about getting out of balance, making sure my self-care is okay. So those are some things that I worry about. But so if they're left unchecked, then I find I really quickly begin to spiral and go into the negative. But I have learned a lot of stuff over the years. So I'm able to now take the proactive steps to reduce the anxiety of, like, if I'm going out to dinner or going to meet friends at the park or whatever. So now I know, okay, I need sunglasses, I need a hat, I need to be in comfortable clothing. It's okay if it's not the same as what everyone else is wearing. Like, it's just a lot of all these things that now I'm able to go, okay, I've taken care of all of these things, so I can go and enjoy this, this moment. And I can go and enjoy 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 this moment. And outing or whatever. So it's little things like that. Also, my mind is deciding how I want to show up. This is a new thing for me. And so it's like, all right, I could sit here and be that quiet introvert. My daughter, by the way, calls me an ultra introvert. So I could be that, or I could go out and show people that I am a cool person and talk to people. So some things like that, I'm just starting to learn now. Okay, you're a nice person, you're an awesome person, go show them that that's what you are. So it's making up my mind before I even get into these situations to go. And then taking care, like I said, taking care of everything I possibly can so that the rest of whatever is going on outside of my control is going to be okay. When I'm okay, everything's okay.
Yeah.
How do I typically cope with worries in stressful situations? So, like I said, I have a ton of tools in my toolbox now, and I've worked very hard and taken a lot of steps to get here. So, I'll either talk it out if I can. If I can't, I'll journal. I'm also really good at self-regulating. So, noticing my moods, noticing what I need, what I don't need, and having the tools available. In a situation, if I don't have access to any of my tools, if you will, I always have my breath. So I can just go, okay. And all right, that's a bit of a reset. And because I've been meditating for many years now, I can put myself into a different mindset, even in a stressful situation. And of course, most people don't even know what you're doing. So it's easy, and you always have your breath. You don't have to carry anything with you. And also a lot of questions like, what is the worst that can happen right now? Will this matter tomorrow, next week, in 5 years? Most likely the answer is no. So then that reduces a lot of worry and stress. Another question I ask is, so what? So what you didn't wear mittens and it's winter? Not my problem. You have cold hands, not me. So what? Weird example with you, all of you girls in the South. But anyways, it was the first one that came to mind. Also, what can I do about this right now? Is there anything I can do about this right now? Can I remove myself from the situation? Can I think a better thought? So I'm always asking, and all those questions, they take like split seconds to ask. And then it's like, okay. And so one strength I have is when I take the seconds to pause and have a deep breath and ask those questions, is then I can look objectively at a situation, therefore removing my emotion in the moment. I'll come back to it later and journal it out if it still bothers me, but I can remove myself from there.
Very good. Yeah. That's very good. I like all the questions.
I love that. So what?
It might come down to just what.
Yep. And sometimes it does.
Yeah.
I ask even my friends who are stressing about stuff, I'm like, so what? They're like, oh, really? So what?
Yes. I like, what is it going to matter in a year? Does it, is it going to matter tomorrow? All those are really good.
Yeah. And taking control of your thoughts and your mind. I mean, I do that too in situations, and I put on the armor of God, man, every day. I mean, I just really do, and that just helps me. Just like you're saying, Krista, that's my version of helping to set myself so I don't get worked up about stuff or I don't worry. So your advice was beautiful.
Oh, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. We all have tools, and so as an empowerment and success coach, I often worry about whether I'm providing enough value and support to my clients, and if I'm really helping them achieve their goals. And so I also experience the anxiety of staying on top of, like, what's the latest trend, because I know they know. So I do get a little fearful about that. And then it causes that self-doubt and the imposter syndrome, wondering if I'm good enough, if I can really help them. And it causes me to overwork. sometimes and over analyze and then second guess my decisions. So one of the things that I found helpful is similar to I think Krista said it too, is the mindfulness and the meditation and taking the time. Like she said, I love this what she said. You can always take your breath with you.
Mhm.
And I love that. I was
At
like,
the end
whoa,
of the day, you always have that.
you always have that. And so taking time to just pause and breathe and center myself, it just allows me to go, okay, you know what you're doing. You got this. You know, you have the education, you have the relationships, and it just helped me with clarity and calmness. An example is, one time I had a lot of my clients now are high profile clients, but in the beginning, I had a high profile client who expressed interest in working with me. But I found myself, I was just worried about it. And I was like, oh my God, can I help this person? Am I capable to meet their needs? And I just had to just turn down the noise in my head and just take time out and reframe my mindset and just view it as a time for growth. Even if I didn't have all the answers, I could just be authentic with them. And hopefully we can, develop a relationship. And so once I approached it that way with transparency and confidence,
Yes.
the client gained trust in my abilities and we were able to work together and now we are still working together, and so it was a barrier that I turned into a solution and a stepping stone to greatness. And so,
No, yeah.
and those stories are really good, when you like now we're 7 years going, and then you talk to someone that you worked with in year one or year two. It's really nice to get the testimonials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's kind of a common denominator is that we're all in our situations. Our situations are real, but if you kind of step back, get inside your head a little bit and just calm down and then listen, and you don't have to be speaking immediately. I think sometimes we want to be quick to give a solution, but if we just calm down, just take a breath and just wait a moment, get your thoughts together. Like you were saying, Chris, it just takes a second or two. It doesn't take that long to calm yourself down and wait, take a breath, and then go. You'd be a lot more
Mhm.
effective.
Yeah,
But I like
yeah,
what you said about the transparency part too, and I think the authenticity when you shared that with the client it helps them connect with you and go, oh, okay. So that transparency part is good because they realize that you're going to do your best and try to offer them what you have to offer, and they'll be willing to listen and connect with you on that,
yeah,
even if you're just starting out, you know,
yeah,
because you're showing your transparency and you're being honest and authentic and those kind of things. People see that, you know, when they work with a person.
yeah,
And
I
yeah,
they
think that
chose
makes them
you.
trust you more.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
And they chose you for a reason, for something.
Yes.
You connected with them.
Yes.
So then when we
Hmm.
get in our head and we're like, oh no, wait, they're too big of a name and I can't help them. Like
Right.
that's where the problem gets, right? But they chose you.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Reminding yourself of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Ooh, that's really good because I had noticed that a lot of introverts were attracted to me because they love that I was okay to be a public speaker and to say what was on my mind. And so after I realized, okay, the imposter syndrome started to slowly fade because it was like, I have something to offer. Yeah, and so you're
Hmm.
right. That's good. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember one time, Joy, going back a few years ago when we were still meeting in building one. So we're going back probably 6 or 7 years, but you were so comfortable up front and you were just yourself. And I know this might sound silly, but you remember when I did the line dance and we were line dancing down the middle aisle?
Yeah.
I felt comfortable enough to be silly because you were so comfortable. It just made the whole room relax. So
Yes. I may have to cut to that while we
Oh yeah.
relax. So you're spot on when you say that. If you're just yourself, it relaxes the people around you.
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun that day.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
And I think those type of things, that's why we usually do an activity or icebreaker. That kind of helps everyone go, oh, okay, they're like me.
Yep.
And it's safe to be yourself and have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I still do I got to dance. I call it the Connie. And then my husband always laughs because Connie, I love the way she dances. I'm so glad you opened up because you really, you had us all cracking up laughing.
I guess it's good.
Yeah. And it's so nice to see people, oh, like they have fun. People like to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes Christianity more real to people because you can love the
Not
Lord,
just
serve the Lord, but you can have fun. I
Yeah.
am convinced that Jesus knows the best jokes and knows how to have fun. I'm just saying it's good stuff. It really is. So you're yourself and you're relatable. How's all this come so we don't worry? And now we're a warrior because we don't worry all about all that stuff. And we're ourselves and we're comfortable and we're authentic. And people see that. And we don't even realize the people we are empowering and releasing because we've been released ourselves and we don't worry about everything anymore and look at the accomplishments that are being done in our personal lives and in people that we know we're affecting and people we don't even have a clue that are watching us. So it's a beautiful thing to go from worry to warrior.
Yes. Okay. It's time for note to self. Yes. So, for our note to self discussion, as we delve deeper into transforming worries into strengths, it's crucial to explore the role of mindset and vulnerability in the process of personal growth and empowerment. Our mindset, the lens through which we perceive and interpret the world, plays a pivotal role in how we navigate challenges and setbacks. By cultivating a growth mindset, we can reframe our worries as opportunities for learning and growth, as we all said today. So rather than insurmountable obstacles, embracing vulnerability, the courage to show up authentically and be seen for who we are, can be a powerful catalyst for personal transformation. And it's through vulnerability that we connect with others on a deeper level, tap into our inner strength, and unlock our fullest potential. So let's dive into our note to self discussion with open hearts and open minds, ready to uncover new insights and perspectives on our journey from worrier to warrior. So, ladies, for our note to self discussion, how do you differentiate between worries that are productive and motivate you to take action versus worries that are unproductive and hold you back from achieving your goals? And how can shifting our perspective or reframing our thoughts help us overcome worries and tap into our inner warrior?
All right. So unproductive and productive worry. First of all, I have many years of a professional worrier. So as I'm sure many do. Yeah. So I have had to really learn how to, first of all, let go of the worry train because it takes you nowheres. Journaling is literally my best friend. It's my therapy. I even call it my therapist. So I'm just journaling, and I like self-inquiry too. So is there something that I've been holding on to that I need to let go? So if I can say yes, then that's probably unproductive worry, and I need to look at what I need to let go. And also, what is this really about? And then there are a bajillion verses in the Bible about worry. And so I've over the years just saying, okay, cast your cares on him because he cares for you. Or, you know, don't worry about tomorrow. I've got this. You just worry about today. So all these verses always in my head, and then all the practical stuff that I can do because I'm a very task-focused person. I can journal, I can have a mantra, I can change my thoughts, I can listen to affirmations. So it's the combining of the faith and the practical that has really helped me to really kind of not even have many worries, because if you can't do anything about it, let it go. And the stuff you can do about it has massive impacts on everything else. So once you have mastery over that control and that I got to do everything myself, then you have that greater sense of peace, your well-being improves, and you have less stress. And I don't want stress.
That's really good.
Oh, that is so good. I'm getting emotional. Oh, my mom used to sing a song about cast your cares on him. Oh.
That's so true. That's like at the core for me. That's at at the core of it, and it's not all about me. I know. I do a lot of listening to the folks around me, and like I was kind of saying earlier, I don't always speak right away, but I listen. And our situations, we can make them big, or we can, for me, surrender it to the Lord. I'm telling you, I'm a big one. I'm putting on my armor of God every day. And I don't do it in the same order as Ephesians 6. I start ahead and work myself down. So the first thing is I get my mind right. I thank you, Lord. I have the mind of Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Greater are you in me than he that's in the world. So I thank you, Lord Jesus. You're my good shepherd, and I follow you, and I don't follow the other stuff. So I go through that, and then I gird my loins with truth. What's the truth? It's the word of God. Okay, what this, Christy, you were kind of saying something about this. What does the word of God say about? There's so many promises about cast your cares on him, trust in the Lord, receive the peace of the Lord, walk in the peace of the Lord. And so I gird my loins with truth, and I declare, because I used to be really easily deceived, because I would be so trusting of everybody. And so I've acquired more wisdom now. And so I don't just automatically believe everything I hear. I really go to the Lord about it. I put on my breastplate of righteousness. Thank you, Lord, everything you've done for me. And I go through all that. I shod my feet with the preparation of the gospel peace. I walk in the peace of the Lord.
Yes. Just hearing all of that, we're all kind of on the same page with how we're thinking about it all.
Yes.
And when one of the other questions was asking, and Connie, you were saying that people are observing how you're being, and and how you're making an impact.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to start off in this way, but it just really made me think, having children and they observe and they take on your worry. And it's just been so just informative for me, that observation that kids, they observe everything. So if you're anxious and worried all the time, they just take it right on.
Yes.
And then you have anxious and worrying kids, and you don't want that. And we can't help it. We don't mean to do that. We just sometimes can't help what we worry about. And so all the things that you guys have said, you is so right of how to start processing it. I just made me think about a story. We were having a power outage, and I have a really great relationship with my older two kids. And so, and I love to say that, meaning that they talk back to me. But that's not a bad thing. They kind of call me on certain things at times and really make me look at myself. And it's not in a disrespectful or rude way, but we were having a power outage, and every time the power went out, I went, I went, and I said, "Dang!" And I kind of like, was really frustrated and worried, and I might even, said a bad word under my breath or whatever, and they could just feel that energy of the worry. But I'm just, and then my son goes, "Mom, it's okay," or he goes, Connie goes, "Man, he said something of the lines of, every time you do that," and it was weird. I didn't even know I was doing it. It was like a oh, every time, like, it was so jarring. It's a power. It's gonna come back on at one point. It's gonna be okay. That's 4 kids. My husband was gone. I'm supposed to be like the one that's like, it's okay. So every time I do that, they just take it on. It's not okay. That's what
Yeah.
they feel. She's not okay, and it's not okay. We're not okay. And so we can't always we can't not worry. So we're going to worry. So it's not really about like not worrying about anything, because that's not natural either, to just not worry about anything.
Right.
But I try to acknowledge every thought that comes into my head as something.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to kick it right out and go, well, no, that's not true. I don't worry about it. I just think for a second of what is popping in, keeps coming in, it's coming in. Whatever it is, whether it's rational, irrational, makes sense, doesn't make sense. I just think, And I try to just get curious about what I'm worrying about too. Just, okay. And just ask myself some questions about it as it's popping in and popping out. But the main thing that has helped me is having people around you who are noticing and who pick up on the things you say and how you say them. And I want them to go about their lives in a way of not worrying about things that they can't control and things like that. So when I think about the questions of how do you have things motivate you and not hold you back, just like we said, all the things that you can do something about, eventually I get to that action. Eventually I'll get to the action of, I'm worried about this. I'm going to listen to or read a book about it, or listen to something about it, or go inquire, get some education about, or talk to the person eventually about what I'm worried about, if it's something like that I can do about it. And then really try to be mindful about the things that you're worried about, something that you can never change or control. And just constantly remind yourself of that and go, Or like you said, even how likely is that a worry, that's the probability of something that could even really happen? Because it might not even be rational what you're worried about in the greater scheme. Yes, it can, but the percentage of it really coming to fruition is so low that now you got your mind crowded with something that may not, so percentage of it happening is so small that we can put something else in there that would be more helpful than worrying about that.
Yep.
So you're switching gears on something that, but yeah, so yeah, it just makes me, all the things that you guys have said and all the ways to deal with it are all right. The breathing, the mindfulness, the stress of long-term worry, as we see now, we think about what we eat, we think about what we drink, we think about all that. But we think we're taking care of ourselves because maybe we're doing all those things. But if you're having long-term worry, that's stress, and that's causing something physically inside of you that's not healthy either in the long term. So you really want to check yourself on worrying about things too long and too much.
Yeah. And you're so right, LaToy, about most of it. It's not even going to happen. I didn't even think about starting when I started my business. And I was like, soon as I put myself out there, oh, I don't have this, I don't have enough of that, thinking I'm going to have like 1,000 customers right away, 1,000 clients, right? And it was
How am I
like,
going to handle this all?
right.
All these people.
I have so many
Like, oh,
clients. Yeah.
knocking down my door.
Yes, and it's so fun, and it'll stop you, it'll stagnate you, you won't even start. So I agree with everyone, and I love those questions because I always did the Dr. Phil question that Krista said, "What's the worst thing?"
What can happen? Mm-hmm.
And you want to think about that, but that was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, "Uh-oh!" As soon as I go on this internet and I'm gonna have all these people coming after me. You have to think about your strengths and what about your past successes?
Mhm.
Because we always want to go to what didn't work, but
That's good.
think
Yep.
about what worked, and that's one of the things that I journal also, Krista. Without journaling, oh my God, I don't even know how I would make it because I reflect a lot. And so I am looking at not just past setbacks, but past successes. That is very important too.
Well, I'm just thinking too, a lot of times one of my tendencies is to lay awake at night and really think things through and rehash and over plan and overthink. Well, then next thing
Mhm.
you know, it's like 1 or 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, Connie girl, knock it off. Go to sleep. You got to get up in a few hours. Instead, with if I'm wasting sleep time, which is body health time and mind health time and peace time, if I'm staying awake worrying about stuff, then how refreshed am I really going to be in the morning? I can be a lot more good if I'm refreshed and a lot more at peace within myself. So that's something that I've been noticing, I've been doing, um, that I didn't used to do so much, but I'm doing lately. So now I'm knocking that off. I'm not going to stay up all hours of night worrying about stuff. It doesn't change anything except
Yeah,
just
I do the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to keep paper and a pen beside my bed and would just write and write and write and allow myself to be awake and write. And when I was done, out like a light instead of the
Mm.
I did
Just
that too
constant.
getting
for a
it out.
while.
Yeah.
I think I should start journaling.
All right, I have some for you.
Yeah, baby.
Like to see it?
Let
Like to
me
hear it?
know.
Here
Yeah,
we go.
Get
Did
that.
you say
it
journal?
really helps. It works. Yeah.
Right.
Is journaling part of your writing life? Keeping a writing journal is a great way to empower your thoughts and ideas. You can use them for note taking, daily journaling, spiritual or gratitude, or poetry work. Introducing our journal kits. They are compact for carrying in your bag. In this kit, you will receive a journal and one of our bright and colorful matching coffee cups to enjoy your morning beverage with. Also, it comes with a beautiful tote bag to carry it all in. You can take our tote bags with you to the beach or on the plane, going shopping, or for a girls' night out. You will fall in love with these gorgeous bags. Our customers love the beautiful artwork printed on both sides of the bag. Go to our website at becomingfierceentrepreneurs.com and click on the tools and resources page to pick up your items today. Thank you so much, ladies. This was awesome. I love it when you come on the podcast. I love listening to you because you took time out to show up today. You are creating meaningful moments that have lasting impact.
Amen.
Thank you so much, ladies. Have a blessed day.
You
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank
God bless
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
So this concludes today's episode. Did you enjoy the Sister Talks panel? Thank you so much, ladies, for being part of today's episode. Becoming a warrior is not about being fearless, it's about embracing fear, cultivating resilience, and taking bold action in the face of adversity. It's about stepping into our power, embracing our inner strength, and unleashing our full potential. So keep unleashing your inner warrior. All right, until next time, have a blessed day. Have a blessed rest of the week, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.